Sabah everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I have for you my unboxing and initial impressions of the brand new Honor 10. I had the opportunity to attend the actual launch event here on May 15th, and I literally walked out of the event, came back to the hotel, and I want to share with you guys my experience of unboxing this device and what comes inside the box. Overall, a lot of cool things were announced, but the main, obviously, surprise for me at least, was the fact that the Phantom Green color was announced, and that was a color I wasn't aware that was coming out. Luckily, I was able to pick up one of those Phantom Green ones, so I'm going to share with you guys again some of the things that make this device so special. Now, everybody that had the opportunity to attend the show walked out with one of these bags, and they were able to get a phone to be able to review. As I mentioned to you guys at the beginning, I did get the Phantom Green one, which is a really rare color, and I was surprised to find out that it came out. The Honor bag actually comes with a couple of cool things. Definitely the phone, the Honor 10, as well as the fact that we have a fingerboard, an Honor-made specific one with an AI amazing grind, and then a media package there in the back. And here we have it, the Honor 10. First thing you get out of the box is the actual device. Right there, centered, we have the fingerprint sensor, of course, right here on the left. Let's take out some of the, oh man, yeah, some plastic right there. That color is absolutely amazing. Now, the way you tell the colors between the different devices is basically on the band here, which is different color. So the green one will have a more of a green tone into it, and then the blue one has more of a blue tone. But the main thing, again, it's that whole shimmering lighting effect that you get. And it really plays better when you're not in direct light. A lot of people like to put so much light on it, and you can kind of like see me right there, it's reflective. And of course on the front we have the 5.8-inch display, and of course we'll start going through some of the specs. Overall we have a SIM tool, or the SIM tray right here, housing 2 SIM cards, no SD card support. And then here what we have is power button, volume rocker, and on the top what we have here is an IR blaster with one of the microphones, 2 sensors in the back, a 24 and a 16 megapixel sensor, 24 monochrome, 60 megapixel RGB, dual tone LED flash, and of course an AI, obviously an AI camera here. And what we have at the bottom is just the Honor logo. Bottom, we still have the 3.5mm headphone jack, and supposedly with 7.1 surround sound, a USB Type-C connector for power and charging, supported by the Honor Quick Charge or the Huawei Quick Charge, and a single fire speaker at the bottom, and then we have some antenna bands right there. Let's go ahead and power on the display. This is the first time I'm powering on. Felt that little vibration. We'll go ahead and put this down. The rest of the box should be very similar to what we've seen in the past. We have a SIM removal tool and basically a clear plastic case, a USB Type-C to USB Type-A cable, providing us again data connection as well as power, and a Huawei Quick Charge. Now the case itself is a clear plastic case intended to basically allow you to enjoy watching this casing on the outside from the actual phone, but not lose any of that effect. So you still have the ability of enjoying those colors, and again, you're still getting the protection on your device. And it does seem like there is a screen protector that's already installed. Let's go ahead and turn on the display and go through the initial setup of this device. Now, first thing you'll notice on the lock screen, this is the COL-L29. This is the initial setup, so we'll just go ahead and swipe this away. I forgot we actually can't swipe things away with the EMUI. The color background, again, is definitely mimicking the color of the actual device. We don't have an app drawer in, but we'll be able to turn that on. Again, as I mentioned to you guys, COL-L29 is the model number, Android 8.1 with EMUI 8.1, so definitely running the latest version of Android. We have 15 gigs free, which is out of the 128 gigs of internal storage, and 4 gigabytes of RAM. Looking over the UI, pretty simple. Overall, we have some applications installed. We had Facebook, we have some games from Gameloft, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, right there, Asphalt. Top apps, we have Booking, Instagram, Netflix, as well as eBay pre-installed. And from the tools, we do have Sound Recorder, we have Game Suite, which will help you play games and enjoy playing games on your device without any interruptions of false touches. The smart controller will work with the IR blaster that we have on the top. Mirror, of course, to be able to just use the mirror application. Phone Clone is going to be a really cool tool to transfer your data from your old either Honor or non-Honor device to this device with applications and pictures and all your movies and so on, as well as text messages. Very, very helpful, and I've used it quite a bit. Quick is an application that's available mostly in the European model of this device that enables you to create moments and videos from pictures that you've taken during the day. And then the SIM toolkit just enables you to basically manage those things. There's backup, and we can add more things. And then High Care, of course, at the top. Looks like the Huawei App Store is installed, and then the Honor app as well. And I think that's pretty much it as far as additional apps. And of course, the suite of Google applications that you'd expect. Gallery should be empty. There isn't much. We're going to say auto-sync I'm going to skip for now, but there's nothing here. We're going to have to take some pictures with this. Let's go in real quick into the settings. Overall, so we have Huawei ID. Again, this is the European model. We need to set up a fingerprint. This is the auto suggestion directly within Android. Wireless network configuration. We'll be able to set up Wi-Fi, of course. I think somebody over the on Twitter asked me if this has NFC. Just want to show you right there, NFC. And the toggles are customizable by going into the edit page and then customizing and adding additional ones. It's only missing with the nearby at this point. Going back, we have VPN setup, mobile data, dual SIM setup, of course, as this is a dual SIM device, tethering and mobile network, and we'll be able to pop in a SIM card in here soon. Device connections, as I mentioned to you guys, we have NFC, Huawei Beam, Huawei Share, as well as Mirror Share and printing and Bluetooth, of course. It's surprising though that I guess Bluetooth is connected as a device connection, not as a wireless. App notification. By default, we do have App Twin installed, so that's definitely very good. App notification management, as well as apps, and then notification and toolbar. So battery, I can display the speed network. I can turn on notification on the screen, pulse notification light. Battery percentage, I have it right now, is next to the battery icon as we see it there. Looking over on the battery tab, this is actually supporting a 3400 milliamp battery. It is about for 54% right now. We have power saving mode, ultra power saving mode. We do have the ability of customizing our display. Now by default, it is at 2280 by 1080, which is the resolution of the display. We do have a notch that's kind of been in front of us this whole time. You have the ability of reducing it to 720p to be able to save battery, and smart resolution can actually do that automatically for you, but personally I'm just going to keep it at 1080p. And then at app launch, the ability of basically customizing the applications and how they actually launch. Battery usage when you start having some statistics to check out, and then optimize battery usage and battery percentage. At this point, next to the icon you can change it again, so it's present in two different tabs. Going into the next tab, we have the display section. So eye comfort is present, wallpaper, full display screen, the notch. You have the ability of changing the setting where you can actually remove it or keep it. I personally have gotten used to this with the P20 Pro, so I'm going to keep it. But if you don't like it, basically what it does, it just draws a black bar around it. And what it does, it just basically allows you not to see it anymore, even though it's technically still there. A full screen display, and of course we have view mode by default. We can change the customization as the text size as well as the screen resolution. Screensaver is off, auto rotation is on, smart rotate, of course, if you want to be able to turn that on. When you're reading something on the side, it won't rotate the display with you, but if you're not, then it'll rotate it for you. So out of the box, we have 128 gigs of internal storage. Out of that, 115 gigs are available for us right away. Again, I haven't connected it to a network, I haven't updated anything. So anything that is basically coming out of the box should just expect 115 gigs of storage. Now, of course, all the security features are here. The private space is here, so you're definitely going to be able to enjoy having two workspaces, a personal and a workspace if you'd like to set that up. We do have face unlock, fingerprint sensor, of course, and then Find My Device, and then Google Play Protect, of course. As far as other options, out of the box, we do have face unlock, which is definitely very nice. And of course, we have the ability of doing device administrator, install unknown apps if you want to turn that on. And if you decide to use the HiSuite application on your PC and you want to be able to have it to back up and restore information for you, you do need to turn this option on. This is very similar to basically USB debugging with an extra feature for HiSuite to be able to communicate with your device. And of course, you can revoke some other permissions, trusted type, user credential, screen pinning by default. This is the feature here. I like to turn that on. Last but not least, we have user account, smart assistant, Google, and then of course system. Under the system, you have the about phone as well as software updates. System navigation is the other feature that I like to share with you guys. Now you have the ability of turning on-screen navigation key, which is very similar. It's a little button right here, and you can basically press it, swipe up, swipe back from it, and it just basically functions like a home key. So I'm going to go back in. Again, when you click on it, you'll be able to see. So touching it once takes you back. Touching it once, holding takes you basically home. And then one more time, recent app is swiping to the left, swiping to the right, as well as this recent. Going back to the Google app is pressing and swiping up. Last but not least, you can hide it and then auto hide and then show it again to your liking. Now the virtual navigation bar, it is very, very nice. Just functions over the actual options here. You can hide it, bring it back, and you can customize it as it basically just keeps it as you normally use. Off-screen navigation button, it becomes very functional if you want to use the button to basically navigate things. So basically pressing home here brings me back once, pressing again takes me back, and then of course if I swipe, I get the same functionality as I'm normally used to getting the same options. So very functional. If you're used to using navigation and you want to be able to put gestures, it's going to be here. There's 3 different options for you guys. Again, off screen, on screen, and then virtual buttons. And of course, the virtual buttons are the standard ones that we're normally used to. And last but not least, we have the navigation dock that once you turn it on, it creates basically a little dot that you're able to interact with. And then it works the same way as the other options. Last but not least, we have simple mode, of course, data transfer, backup and restore, reset, user experience environment. Again, if you want to be able to participate there. Now, the default launcher does not have an app drawer, but if you do want to switch that on, you just need to go into display and then you go into home style. The standard is the one without the home button, and you turn this back on, it'll convert it over. And again, it'll be the same aesthetics. The only thing is now we have an app drawer, which enables us to basically just use a more familiar experience. Now, swiping from the left, we have the Google feed that's built in. You can turn it off. So if you basically pinch directly on the actual launcher, you have the transitions, wallpapers, and of course the settings. Now, under the settings, we have a few things that are pretty cool. We have the home layout. 4:6 is the default. You can go to 5:6, and it's going to shrink out more, and you'll have more space to be able to put more things on it. And of course, going back into it, we'll go into settings. Auto align, if you want to do that, shake the auto align badge app icon. You can have that turned on. By default, it's on for everything. And of course, app suggestion, automatically suggest apps based on usage. So that's going to be what comes up in your app drawer when you're using it. Search result, home screen loop, and of course, Google feed. Search result right now, it's going to search everything. You can disable what you don't want it to show. Transition, wallpapers, and again, widgets are all normal things, what you normally do. A lot of us are here for the camera. We're going to definitely get a chance to check it out. So switch camera mode by swiping. I'm not going to turn on GPS tagging. The UI is very familiar if you've used any of the other Honor devices in the past. The main benefit, of course, we have the aperture mode, which gives us the ability of doing that shallow depth of field, basically a bokeh effect, and you can customize and put that in. Check out my feed on Instagram. I'm going to be posting a lot more pictures of this. Portrait mode is that nice feature that they talked about at the event, at the launch event, where you'll be able to basically take images and start using that effect, that, you know, studio lighting effect. You can even go black and white, you can go stage lighting or even classic, and then customize it to your heart's content. Is by default what you're getting when you're taking a picture. So this is going to be your on and off, and then you have the ability of turning on the AI, which will allow you to take better pictures, and that's what they were selling us for. The AI built into this device is going to be very, very much the horsepower, the main power running in here. We have 1x, 2x zoom. So we have 1x, and I'm not sure, but it looks like it's digital zoom, as it basically pixelated it tremendously. So it looks like it's digital zoom that we're running here. Video mode, what we have here is just the standard one. Let's go into settings. Now, by default, video mode on the back can go all the way up to 1080p, or sorry, 4K. We are running it at 1080p, and then basically the 60 frames per second is available at 1080p, although not available on full 4K here. Of course, we have H.264 compatibility, or if you want to try the H.265 codec, you can definitely turn it on here. Of course, we have geotagging, object tracking, volume, and all that good stuff. I think object tracking is definitely very nice. So here's a quick sample of the front-facing 24 megapixel sensor that's capable of going to 1080p 18:9 aspect ratio, or standard 1080p at 16:9 aspect ratio. Hopefully it's a good representation. Again, not a full in-depth review of the camera, but again, we're just showing you guys the main capabilities of this sensor. Again, 24 megapixels, very nice. Went ahead and switched over to the back-facing 16 megapixel sensor. Now that's the RGB sensor that we're going to be using to do video. The 24 megapixel sensor in the back is a monochrome sensor. So it's going to be great for whenever you're taking pictures, as it's going to be able to give you a little bit better contrast and as more detail into the image itself. So again, up to 1080p, you can go to 60 frames per second, which is what I'm doing right now, but you can go also all the way up to 4K, but at 30 frames per second, as it doesn't state. So hopefully this is a good representation of what the video quality can be out of the Honor 10. And the next thing that we have here is the additional modes that we get. We have AR lenses, Pro mode, slow-mo, night shot, panorama, monochrome, light painting, HDR, time-lapse, as well as filters, of course, 3D panorama, watermark, document scan, 3D creator, as well as artist mode. And it doesn't seem like, oh, there is, it's right there. You can download additional ones that you don't have right now, and the only one that's missing is good food. The one thing you want to keep in mind as well is when you're using this camera in front-facing mode. So let's go ahead and switch over to the front-facing camera. How you guys doing? By default, when you go into the settings tab, you'll notice that it says 1280 by 720, and that's not truly the resolution or the maximum resolution of the front-facing sensor. You do have the ability of going higher if you turn off beauty, disable a beauty mode. When you do that, it turns it off, and then you're able to go to 1080p and 18 by 9 1080p by default. So there's two resolutions that you can get out of the front-facing sensor. Again, H.264 or H.265 compatibility, depending to what you want to record on. Now, looking over to doing just a quick audio sample on this, there is a song that's built in here, and it is remixed by Honor, our names, Honor Remix. We'll go ahead and play that up for you guys.
There's a fire below us. There's a fire where I belong. Run away so far.
Now, it sounds obviously that it is a single firing speaker, so unfortunately no stereo speakers right now. I'm hoping this is something that maybe they'll be able to turn on with software later, but it is a bottom fire speaker and it does get pretty loud. Honor did mention during the presentation that they are going to be providing a really good audio playback experience on this device, and going into the sound setting, you do have the option to go into standard. You have standard, normal, 3D audio, as well as auto. Now, if you go into the auto, it disables some of the other functionalities here, so you don't have the ability of going in and changing, let's see, the equalizer. But if I say I go in and go standard, the EQ turns on, and I do have a custom EQ that's already built in here, and I saved it. So you notice right there, I can select, we have dance, jazz, pop, and you can customize and create one to your own liking and then add more bass, less bass, save it, and of course, rename it if you'd like. The ability of actually customizing which type of ear cups you're using, either in-ear or earbuds or none. And of course, you have the ability of customizing if you're using any of the USB-C options. You notice Huawei Classic USB-C edition, or even the Monster, the Honor Monster cables that they mentioned as well during the launch event. The last thing I wanted to share with you guys here is a quick image. I just took a quick shot directly from the window here in the room, and I took two of them, one with and one without the AI. I don't know if you guys could see this here. I'm going to actually put this thing over. But this image with the AI, it looks amazing. You could see that it tried to process the images exactly for the foreground, all the different elements. There's trees in the front, there's water, there's sky, there's ships. It tried to do a really good job on it. Now, what you can do in this image is turn off the AI so you can see the original image. Now, I didn't actually have to take two images, but I wanted to export two. So you'll notice right there, the image itself is processed, and it basically just looks normal. Nothing's wrong with it. It's just that when you add the AI to it, it just looks fantastic. Again, definitely looking forward to being able to check this out, and we're going to have a lot more stuff coming out of this in the full review. The device is, again, the Honor 10, just announced. This is the Phantom Green color, and I just have to say, very happy that I was able to pick up the Phantom Green Honor 10 here in London at the announcement on May 15th. Again, I'll give you guys a link in the description below where you'll be able to find more information about this device. Again, this is the Phantom Green Honor 10. There's many other colors, and again, if you keep it with my social accounts as far as Instagram and Twitter, you should be able to see a lot more pictures coming out of this device, as I'm still here for the next day or so for a meetup with the Honor and XDA.